Okay, so now that we have the basics of Fluency Tutor down, let's look at a few of the settings and how to create your own content. So the first thing is over here in the dashboard, you can see recent activity, what you've recently shared with students. You can see students at the classroom level or at the individual level. You can see the assessments that you have assigned, which often are corresponding with your recent activity. You can send Fluency Tutor feedback from this window. And then here again is where you would share passages, but when you click Share Passage, you'll see right below it there's a Create Content. So when would you do this? Let's say that you have something in a Word doc or a Google Doc and you would like to use it inside of Fluency Tutor. So just as an example, I have a reading passage here about school supplies in a Google Doc, right? So the title would be School Supplies. If you'd like to enter a short description, that's what shows up in the dashboard when you're looking at different reading passages, so it's not mandatory. And then down here you have edit mode and preview mode. So right now we don't have anything in here, so I'm going to go to the Google Doc and I'm going to copy the text. And it's important to realize that I did not copy the image. I'm just copying the text. I'll come here and in edit mode, I'm going to paste. Now you lose a little bit of the formatting, but you can get that back pretty quickly. So you can add some paragraphs back in pretty quickly just by clicking and hitting the return key. So get it the way you want it to look. And then if you want an image, there's a little trick to it. You can definitely do it, but it takes a little bit of work. So click above the title and hit enter, and then click here, and then click the image icon that you see here. Now it doesn't let you just grab something from your computer. You have to have a link to the image on the internet. So how do you do that? Well, this is about school supplies and a backpack, so I'm gonna look for some backpack clip art. So I'm gonna open a new tab and I'm gonna type backpack clip art. And then go to images. You have no editing ability in Fluency Tutor of images, so you want to choose an image that's fairly small, otherwise it's going to take up the entire screen. So as I hover over these, you can see in the bottom corner, this one is 2919 by 3525. That's humongous. This one is 340 by 377. That's much better. You probably want to stay around the 350 by 350 roughly. So this one at 350, roughly 350 by 350, I'm going to click on it one time, get in this view, and then I'm going to right click on it and choose Copy Image Address. And then I'm going to go back to Fluency Tutor and I'm going to click right in here carefully between the two parentheses and paste that address. And then I'm going to want a little bit of space between the title. And now if you want to see if you were successful, you can click on the preview, and sure enough there's my image. Again, you don't have a whole lot of editing that you can do with this, but you add some color, you add a picture to it. So once you have it the way you want it and you're happy with it, go ahead and click the Share With. And then this is just like anything else. It's just like a reading passage that was supplied to you by Fluency Tutor. Choose the classroom you want to send it in. Choose the students. You can select all here, but if you're going to give it to all students, you do not have to select all. This could be very helpful though if you're going to give it to all but about 3. Then you could select those 3 and then scroll down to the 3 students that you're not going to assign it to, and then create assignment. And there you go. And so that's been assigned to students the same as anything that you would have gotten from Fluency Tutor. In addition, when you go to Share Passages now, if you click on the filter and you just want to find the things you've loaded, just choose content which I've created instead of everything or Fluency Tutor. Apply these filters, and now you'll see just the things that you've created. You can see I've created quite a few. There it is, school supplies. And when I click on that, there it is. So when you're in a passage, whether it's a passage you created or one that Fluency Tutor created, you have some options for that passage. So in this gear, I can click this, and I can choose the default reading voice, although that can be changed by the student if they wish. I can pick the dictionary language and the dictionary language here, and I can choose the translation language. Now, this is for this passage. So let's say you want to do translations. You have some students that speak Spanish, and you have some students that speak French. Then you could make two different copies of this passage and make one have the translations in French and the other have the translations in Spanish, and then assign them in Google Classroom to the group of students that pertains to. In addition to this language type options that you have for a passage, you can also disable the support tools. So if you need a cold read as an assessment, you can disable the support tools for this passage. And then if you want to, you can also say, always use these options when I share a passage. And that way you don't have to go in each time and check. You've titled it the way you know what the options are, and they'll always be those options. Notice that this is grayed out. It requires student to answer comprehension questions. Again, comprehension questions are a part of the premium version. If you have the premium version, you could also select that, and it would require students to answer the comprehension questions before they could turn in the assignment to you. Then click Confirm, and now the settings for this passage have been saved.